Hey everybody, and welcome to Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George Soulianos, and brought to you by his books. First, Bodybuilding, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly gives you an excellent overview of all the PEDs used in the sport, doses, side effects, cycles, everything you need to know. And then, of course, second book, Training, Nutrition, and Supplementation in Bodybuilding. Put all that together and you can build yourself one heck of a physique. If you're on Amazon.com, pick up my book too. Why not? Real Bodybuilding. Muscle Truth from 25 years in the trenches. It's actually 35 by now. Please welcome from Athens, Greece, Dr. George Soulianos. Hey, doctor.
Hi, everyone. So we had another show this weekend, California Pro.
Yeah.
Patrick Moore is the next Olympian competitor.
Yeah, he's so he won that show 2 years ago, 2019, and that got him to the Olympia, and he got 10th place. And I remember you were at that Olympia 2019. Yeah, you remember that he was people were talking a lot about him because it was a very different look. He was a new face, and he's had about a year and a half to improve since then. So congratulations, he pulled it off.
He was at the last Arnold and the last Olympia also.
Yeah.
I mean 2 years ago.
Yeah, I was very impressed with the second place guy, Mohammed Shaban, originally from Egypt, because when we saw him at the 2019 Olympia, he placed last. And I didn't
What happened to this guy, Mustafa?
Oh man, I was hoping he would be leaner, better condition than he was in Tampa, at New York and Indy Pro, but he wasn't. He was, to me, from the back, he looked a little softer, especially in the glutes and the hams. If he had been really, really ripped up and conditioned, I think Hassan would have won that.
Yeah. He has a lot of mass, but he needs this extra conditioning.
Yeah. I'm waiting. I want to see that, because he's so good.
So it's the conditioning that wins overall. You can have the whole mass of the world, but this is the hardest thing to do, the fine conditioning. That's what Samir says also, yes. So if it's a Frank Zane over an Arnold, who Arnold is bulky, Zane will win eventually, even though it's not modern bodybuilding,
Yeah, I mean, that's, I was only looking at it on a webcast, but when other people pointed out to me later, because I was saying, I thought Muhammad was going to win. I had Shaban for the win, but people pointed out to me once they looked at the high resolution pictures, quad separation wasn't as good as Patrick's. Overall condition wasn't as good.
Actually, Ron, it's the whole package. Yeah. Somebody may have 10 out of 10 in conditioning, but not symmetry, for instance, not posing, presentation, it's the whole stuff.
Yeah, it's hard for us to explain to people that don't really follow bodybuilding, because they think the biggest guy wins, or maybe the most ripped guy wins. It's a total package. They want the best combination of everything on that one day. Yes. It's very, very hard to achieve. Look at these guys.
We have to admit that presentation is neglected.
Yeah, so
that's another thing. The way you pose, you present yourself, this is an art, and perhaps it's just either being ripped or big.
Yeah. I was just watching a George Peterson seminar, and someone had asked him how much time he puts into his posing. And when he's preparing for a contest, George the Bull Peterson, it's an hour minimum a day, and sometimes more like an hour and a half of just posing on top of training, on top of cardio.
Holding the poses.
Yeah, it's because you
want part of the same. Yeah.
People don't understand to make it look easy and smile and not shake when you're hitting these poses is very, very hard.
And hold them for 10 seconds at least.
Oh yeah, and I mean, especially these shows now, they really work these guys hard. They bring them back over and over again for comparisons.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, I mean, even the finals used to be just the pose down the awards. Now they've added for all the pros this confirmation round, so they have to do the judging all over again at night.
Yeah, I remember when I was competing 2009, when I won my bodybuilding nationals, and I was second at the overall. Yeah. I was so exhausted that finally the pose down, I couldn't pose anymore, and they told me that I lost the show due to the pose down, which is ridiculous. They had already decided to give it to the other guy,
but, it's a good experience.
And being also dehydrated, stop drinking water, makes you really exhausted. And
I mean, you see guys cramp all the time because posing, you're trying to contract every muscle at the same time, and you have no water. Your electrolyte balance is getting all messed up. It's tough. Anyway, doctor, we got some good questions that came in the past week. Let's get to it. Dr. T, what is your drug choice when it comes to getting rid of subcutaneous water the last day before the show? Could you give me your favorite protocol to get rid of water?
So first of all, you have to do the transition from drinking water to stop drinking water, to cut water. So it has to be done abruptly, because otherwise you stimulate antidiuretic hormone, and this will retain water. Okay, so during the depletion phase, you drink hell of a water, a lot, 5 bottles a day, and then you go from, let's say, to 5 bottles to 1 bottle, and then to half. Okay, so you should stop drinking water after the first day of the loading. You need during the first day of the loading, you need a little bit of water to form the glycogen. But don't overdo it too much, because you're going to retain. And also, it's up to the salt. But when it comes to diuretics, in my first talk, I use injectable Lasix.
Ooh.
And I collapsed almost. Yeah, I was 26 years old. Yeah. I said, how the hell I'm going to get rid of this water? It was also part of body fat, because I was around 7%, Yeah. So I almost collapsed and faded, And it was a blackout,
Wow.
And afterwards, I went to use the restroom, and I was taking a crap. And when I went to stand up, I had a nasty spasm on my abdominals, I was like this.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So avoid the Lasix, but they use Lasix, which is furosemide, is the loop diuretics, in order to flush away the extra potassium in case you're using aldactone during the last week. Okay, so when you use aldactone, it retains potassium. It gets rid of the sodium. All right.
Yeah.
Sodium, of course, retains water, and actually, potassium is the main intracellular material that gives this volume to the cell. So you don't look flat when you take aldactone, which is aldosterone inhibitor.
Yeah.
But if you gradually use it, if you use it gradually, potassium elevates. That becomes risky to the heart. So they introduced Lasix to the very last day in order to get rid of the extra potassium. Okay. The other option is to use a little bit of Lasix and a little bit of aldactone together all the way. All right. And of course, the safest option is the moderator that we have, which is the thiazide, that contains a little bit. It's like a combination of Lasix and the aldactone, that it gets rid of potassium and rid of sodium, but also retains a little bit of potassium. Not too much, but you hold a bit. You hold a little bit. Yes, of course, a good option is to wrap up with blankets, and some warm clothes, and pose, okay, in order to sweat, and also do some artificial tanning.
What about a sauna?
Sauna, yes, sauna. The point is, with sauna, I'm afraid you may lose also some intramuscular water. The steam bath is much better.
Okay.
The jacuzzi.
Okay.
No, not the jacuzzi, the hammam, how you say it, when it's full of steams, like sauna, but it's wet sauna.
The steam room, yeah.
The steam room, yes, it's much healthier for the breath also,
Right, but well, you just brought up an interesting point, doctors. Do you think diuretics can selectively flush water out from under the skin without taking water from the muscles?
Yeah. Well, somebody told me that sauna is risky for that, and flushes also intramuscular water, instead of diuretics that work under the skin. But you have also to know that it's forbidden to take bananas and potatoes during aldactone, because they already have potassium. It's a risky thing,
Yeah.
Andreas Musser used to do something really extreme.
I bet. Jeez.
Super load with sodium just before the depletion, and start using aldactone also.
Wow.
And even though aldactone was high, he was also taking extra potassium to get rid of the sodium. Crazy. And the day before the show, he would lose elastics.
Wow.
So it was super dry. And Milos told me that the first time he used it, he would start posing. He was cramping in every pose. Crazy, eh?
Yeah. You know,
but of course, it doesn't help if you're already fat. Right. If you have fat in your glutes, no diuretic will make you look ripped, you know. So you need to be 5% at least.
Yeah, it's so many people think they're holding water and it's just body fat. They didn't get lean enough. And
the water is flushed within 24 hours. The fat jiggles.
That's right. Yeah. Personally, I use Diazide a few times. That's the only diuretic I ever used, and I always felt it flattened me out. It took volume out of the muscle, and I wasn't that big to begin with. So for me,
well, you have to also take extra carbs, you know, to look fuller.
Yeah, maybe I didn't carb up enough. Okay, next question. Doctor, what are your thoughts about fish oil oxidation? Dr. O'Connor recently had a cardiologist on that warned about most fish oils being oxidized before reaching the end consumer, potentially causing adverse health consequences. Wow.
Yes, I heard about that. I was listening to the show. It was really informative. Actually, I'm using the best form of EDA and EPA, which is krill oil. And it's plenty in antioxidant astaxanthin, which is a carotenoid that prevents the oxidation of the lipids, you know?
Okay.
So it's worth taking. It's perhaps double the price of the regular fish oil. And actually, it's better to take fish oil out of sardines or salmon rather than from linoleic acid, you know? I'm sorry, omega-3, I'm sorry. Right. Because fish oil is something different. Actually, fish oil, omega-3, from fish is superior to the omega-3 from plants, okay, from alpha linoleic acid.
Yeah, I would think
so. So yes, krill oil is the best option, and I'm taking 1 gram with every meal, so 2 capsules.
So I wonder if you didn't want to take the supplement, if you wanted to get it from things like mackerel, sardines, salmon, do you think you would need to eat those, like 1 serving of that every single day?
Well, listen, when I have a salmon, I take a salmon, okay, so I take about 2 pounds and I eat it in 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah. 2 days after, I take some chicken and then some beef, and then it goes again, salmon, chicken, and buffalo, for instance. Yeah. Also, perhaps I take some sardines and put it some extra meal, you know. But you cannot rely on fish every day, for instance, on fatty fish. You need to modify your diet, otherwise, it's only during the contest that you have to do certain to eat certain foodstuffs, you know.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Next one, here's a cycle question. I'm on a TRT dose of test enanthate, 150 milligrams a week. Would you rather pin once or twice, considering the half-life of the enanthate? And what would be the ideal dose of Masteron as an add-on to my TRT dose?
Well, in TRT, we no longer do 1 single dose, but we do it during cycle. And of course, enanthate has a half-life that can be acceptable to pin once, but we need more stable levels during TRT. So we should either twice a day, twice a week, 3 times a week, even every other day, or even every day. So yes, you have a point that even though the half-life is relatively long, and after a while, the ester will be no matter what within your system.
Right.
We tend to avoid the spiking. So a larger dose would spike rather than cutting in half and using twice a week.
Yeah.
Now, I find no reason to use Masteron rather than using, having the highest HBG and having no provider on the HT synthetic to lower this. Another option would be to use a higher dose of testosterone, of course. But it's hard to get pharmaceutical grade Masteron, of course. It has some anti-estrogenic activity, okay, but considering that Masteron is a propionate and it's every other day, I guess it should be used every other day, you know?
Yeah, it's
a little bit. 1 ml is 100 milligrams, you know, so you should do microdosing with Masteron, you know, but 2 injectables in TRT,
I just find it weird. Unless you're competing, unless you're getting ready for a contest, I don't understand why people would really want to use Masteron unless it's for the estrogen management, but there's other ways to do that, like Proviron.
Yeah, it's for the sake of SHBG, but you can either lower SHBG by increasing your testosterone dose, you know?
Yeah.
Or even using 1 large dose. It's hard to find Masteron. This is the most important.
It is. It's hard to find, and if you find real Masteron, it's 3 times more expensive than testosterone, as it should be.
And actually, Primo is faked by Masteron because no one aromatizes, you know, and Primo is very expensive anabolic, even though weak. Yeah. But it's faked by Masteron.
You know, like speaking of fake, I recently spoke to a female competitor. She thought she was using Anavar, but I'm pretty sure it was D-bol or Anadrol
Oh
because
shit.
she got so puffy, put on a lot of muscle, but a lot of water.
Well, listen, Anadrol doesn't aromatize supposedly, but
okay, so it's probably
if you have
D-bol.
already increased estrogens, it's not a good idea.
Yeah. A lot of fake stuff out there, guys. You got to be careful. Next one. I received my exams. My LDL was 101, AST, ALT 3233. Creatinine was 1.08. So all my health markers improved. Should I do my next cycle? My HDL was lower, though, 34. So I got leaner off season and both lipids fell. To be honest, my liver enzymes are the thing that bothered me the most. Before this, 2 years, still natural. My ALT was 14, my AST 20, and GT was 10. So I guess he's looking for, is he healthy enough to do another cycle, or based on those numbers that you see?
But technically you need 2-digit LDL below 100, which is almost there. But I'm concerned of his HDL is not over 40, even though he's off from 2 years. So he needs to increase his cardio, take some niacin and krill oil, and wait until it reaches 40, because we will go down to 20 in the cycle.
Yeah. Krill oil, guys, look into it. Here we go. Next one, acne. You get a lot of acne questions because a lot of people get acne, clearly. Hormonal induced acne. I know you've answered this so many times, doctor. What are the best natural supplements or pharmaceutical products in order to mitigate it or possibly completely stop it? Hormone induced.
So it's vitamin A, because Accutane, it comes from retinoic acid. It's vitamin A. You need high doses. Let's say 25,000 IUs 3 times a week. Yeah. With breakfast. You need some fatty meal to be absorbed. Zinc also is good. It's good for the wound healing of the acne. Yeah. Take plenty of unsaturated fatty acids. Let's say omega-3. Okay. And avoid trans fat and saturated fat that may cause inflammation. Plenty of water. Okay, you can also stay under the sun to dry the skin. Yeah. And use purified alcohol on the spots, Yeah. That's all.
Have you ever heard like salt water? That was like.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, going down, diving into the sea. Yeah. Like it's salty and burns the wounds, Yeah,
it feels good. So okay, good answer. Good answer. Here's good. What can we use as a supplement now that NAC was labeled illegal to buy by the FDA in the United States?
Yeah, this is weird. We have it also NAC in the pharmacy as a product, not as a supplement, but as a product coming from the FDA. Our FDA, for instance.
Right.
So I guess you should take glutathione. The point is what to find, and then glutathione also it gets broken down into the stomach. It's not really absorbed, but perhaps some cysteine. If you take it, then you can form some N-acetylcysteine, I guess. But the reason you're taking NAC is because it converts to glutathione. So if you can find glutathione, liposomal is the best one that works orally, otherwise injectable.
So tell me, I should know this, but why do people take NAC? For what purpose?
To synthesize glutathione, which is a major antioxidant in the liver that cleans the liver and detox the whole system, Yeah.
So it's liver health, liver support.
And overall the antioxidant, against the free radicals.
Gotcha. Yeah, I wonder why they made it illegal. Like, what was it dangerous or something?
I don't know, man, because the next question refers to something about the big pharma and the.
Okay, maybe the answer is right here. Hello, doc. What is your thought on NAC and acetylcysteine not being sold over the counter anymore? As the FDA recently decided you will need a prescription in order to purchase it in the pharmacy. Is it because it is such a powerful supplement that the big pharma doesn't want the monopolization, meaning they do want the monopolization. They want to be able to control it and be the ones to make you pay them to get it. That makes sense.
Yeah, he has a point on that. Yeah.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, I mean, big pharma, that's $1 trillion industry. Oof, a lot of money. But it's weird that they would pick that one thing to make a prescription drug after all these years. Here we go. Primobolan, we were just talking about. Primo has been around for years, just like many others. Why doesn't Primo lose value? Or why does it seem to spike sometimes? Is it because of supply and demand, or because it's strictly pharmaceutical grade that people try to get? So why is Primobolan so expensive?
Because the expensive compound, well, it says that it costs 1 kilogram is $50,000. It's a lot.
Jeez.
As much as Anavar, you know. So they are very easily to be faked for the sake of
profit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's people get upset, but that's, you know, who you can't really trust all these underground steroid labs. They're out to make a buck. So, you know, don't always assume you're going to get what
the
you
good
think.
scenario is to have 50% Primo and 50% Masteron.
Yeah.
The best scenario is to have a testosterone propionate.
Yeah, I haven't seen Primobolan. Wow, last time I saw Primobolan was probably 10 years ago. I haven't really been looking for it, but that's like the last time somebody I knew had Primobolan. So it's not easy to get. Here we go. This is a good one because I know you helped your late grandmother a lot with these types of things. My mother is 84. She takes losartan that controls her high blood pressure, which is monitored every day. She experiences moderate memory problems from the onset of dementia and has muscle wasting and joint pain. Do you think small dosage of growth hormones and or DECA would help her, and in what dose? Also, what do you think of epitalon and cerebrolacin at her age? So let's start with the GH and the DECA for the muscle wasting.
Yes, to use GH, you need a low A1C. So the glycemic hemoglobin should be below 5.5.
Okay.
And it will help because at her age, HF1 is pretty low. Now, Nandrolone, we have to make sure that blood pressure is okay. Now, losartan takes care of this and also will lower a little bit the hematocrit that DECA will elevate it. And now I have no idea about the second part.
Yeah, I mean, one of them sounds like a drug. Cerebro is brain, so cebrelacin must be some sort of anti-dementia drug, I'm guessing. I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, well, next up. But doses for DECA, I believe, didn't you have your grandmother?
50 milligram per week is a standard. I mean, I had a case at the office that DECA and GH also for his mother. There was a guy.
Yeah.
But I told him, along with DECA, you need excess amount of vitamin D and plenty amount of calcium, you know, in order to work. These are the materials for the DECA to work, you know. Yeah. You need the vitamin D to absorb the calcium. And also you need the DECA also to increase the calcium absorption, but it wouldn't work if you have the first stuff. So it's like taking steroids without eating protein, you know?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So you need the material, yes.
Gotcha. And for growth hormone, like 1 or 2 IUs for someone like that, would that be?
So growth hormone 1 IU twice a day, you know. For instance, I'll tell you something which is funny. There was a case, so there is a patient of mine that has a daughter that's a real dwarf now. She's 11.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he wanted to start using growth hormone for her, okay? But the endocrinologist said, it's too late. It should be pre-puberty.
Wow.
So they checked out D3 levels. It was super low, single digit. So why the hell, I mean, how the heck will GH work if you have so low D3? You know, so it's like being a vegan and you want to use steroids. So you need the first material, which is D3 vitamin to make strong bones, to catch up in height, you know, and avoid osteoporosis. So don't think that miraculously GH or DECA will make it better if you don't have the first source materials, you know, which is vitamin D3 and calcium. And of course, eating salmon every day is not equitable, so you need extra supplementation. I
can't believe this girl was only 11 and they said it was too late for her to start the growth hormone.
Too late. You should start below 10, before 10. Okay, before the menstrual cycle begins, because it's too late when the menstrual cycle had already started.
So she's not going to get any taller?
Not too much.
That's too bad. That's too bad. All right, last question, doctor. What is the best way to raise HDL other than fish oils, estradiol, and cardio? What else works?
Niacin and krill oil.
There you go. There you go.
And quit smoking also, you know, because smoking lowers HDL. Right, something really stable. You need 30 minutes of cardio every day at least. Perhaps you lose some visceral fat, you know.
Yeah.
Some people are genetically blessed to have high HDL. I'm sorry, estrogens also may help. So eating soy, perhaps, it'll make you look flabby soy.
Cool. All right, there's your answer. That's it. Yeah. Okay, guys, I want you to check out the doctor's website, gtoul.com. Plenty of articles there in English and in Greek. Get those books we talked about. They're on Amazon.com. Check out the doctor on Instagram at Dr. George Touliatos. And that's it. Thank you, doctor, for this. Every week you deliver this service that very, very few MDs in the world are capable of giving to the viewers.
So will you be with Charles at the Arnold in September?
I hope he's coming out. I know I'll be there. Yeah. Are you coming out for that?
I don't think so. I mean, the educational will take place next March. So March 3 to 6 is the next Arnold.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
I guess they didn't want to miss a year. So they
yes, just for the athletes for the show. But I think all the categories will compete, right?
No, it's only 4 categories. It's open. Yeah, it's open bodybuilding, classic physique, women's fitness, and women's bikini. That's it.
212?
Nope. No, they haven't had 212 for a couple of years anyway at the Arnold, but they're not having men's physique, women's physique.
Why that?
They're just doing a small version of the Arnold Classic. No expo.
Okay, but what about the shows? I mean,
the main event is obviously open bodybuilding. Classic physique is pretty. I don't want to say one division is more important than the other, but open bodybuilding, that's the main draw. So they're going to crown a 2021 Arnold Classic champion this year. And then March, they're going to turn around. So that's September. So 6 months later, they're going to come back and do the whole show the right way. Every division, the education seminars, all the different sports, the Arnold Amateur. The Olympia is October. I think the Olympia had a kind of an expo last year. It did. It wasn't as big, but they had a smaller version. There was plenty of people there.
They're going to have also booths the year.
So what?
They're going to have booths the year. Booths.
Yeah. I think the Olympia will be pretty normal this year in Orlando. I think everyone's going to be vaccinated that wants to be vaccinated. I mean, that's October. We're only just starting as we speak today. We're speaking at the very end of June, May 31st. I think there's plenty of time for them to even. I think even the Arnold could have an expo, but I'm not the promoter.
I thought so.
Yeah,
but you're not going to Birmingham, man.
I wish, but because Giles is already there.
Yeah.
Maybe miracles happen. Who knows? Please God, send me to UK. But I have a feeling that's just going to be Giles covering that. And then I hope he can come out to the US Arnold too to help me.
Steve will be at the Arnold?
Steve will go to the Arnold. Steve hasn't missed an Arnold in like 35 years.
And at the Olympia also?
Don't know. He didn't go to the last one. Yeah. Always at the Arnold though. He's very, very he's got a really good relationship with the Lorimers, and they work well with us. They treat us very well. And, the Olympia, obviously we've got a good relationship with them now with Stan Solomon too. But Steve always goes to the Arnold. I don't think he's missed an Arnold in many, many, many years, if ever. Maybe he's never missed one. So anyway, Doc, that is it. This is another great show. Appreciate it very much. Guys, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell thing so you're notified when we get more videos. If you like these videos, give them a like, share them, make some comments, leave all your questions for next week in the comments below. Yeah, and that's it. Dr. George, thank you so much. All right, we'll see you guys next week on Ask Dr. Testosterone.